just want to say what an honor and a privilege it is to be included with these incredible storytellers that you've heard already. The bravery that it takes to speak your truth cannot be underestimated, and in this time of fake news and misinformation, it is more important than ever that we all speak our truths, speak them loudly, and then listen to them with open hearts. These stories and these quotes that we've heard from Dr. King that inspired them make me think about my life and the gifts that I often take for granted. I think about my privilege, not the tangible, not the job, the house, the health, the money, the education, but my greatest privilege, the one that has shaped who I am, and that's the people that loved me, the ones that raised me and taught me and stood between me and darkness. I think about my parents, Minnie Nell and Johnny Leroy, a public school librarian and a Pullman porter come dining car cook. My mother was fiercely righteous and tough as nails. She plunked out spirituals on the piano every weekend morning, and she loved to sing. She pulled me into her lap and read to me every night, filling my world and my dreams with the stories of Baldwin and Hemingway and Welty. She insisted that I never attend the school where she taught because she wanted me to have the chance to be my own person, to make mistakes as Willa, not as Willa, Miss Taylor, the librarian's daughter. I think about my dad, a man of immense intellect but little formal schooling, who dropped out of 10th grade when his dad died so he could work to support his mother and his sister. He was a voracious reader like my mom, but loved nonfiction and political discourse. He was gone for 4 days of every week, working on the railroad, on the run of the Southern Pacific Railroad from Dallas to Denver. But when he was home on weekends, he would take me to the barbershop to hang out with the fellas. He loved to dance, but had absolutely no rhythm. He looked more like Muhammad Ali than Chubby Checker when I tried to teach him how to do the twist. But he schooled me on Aretha Franklin and Dexter Gordon. And he gave me my very first sip of scotch sitting on the back porch of our house, listening to Jackie Robinson hit a home run on the radio. I think about my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, Prince Fowler Jackson, a barrel-chested black preacher with a booming baritone, a penchant for white suits, and a love of Cadillacs. He always carried a Bible and a pistol. Papa, as I called him, was an African Methodist Episcopal presiding elder. That's a sort of gospel district manager, if you will. And he traveled all over Texas to preach and build churches in black communities. Now, at this time, when I was growing up in the segregated South. And a black man driving a Cadillac on the back roads through Jim Crow South was not for the faint of heart or the unarmed. Papa taught me to fish and to play chess. He always beat me, and Nana and Mama would always admonish him, "Rip, why don't you let that child win a game?" Papa would lean back in his Queen Anne wingback chair, point at me with his glasses, and pronounce, "Ain't nobody in this world gonna let that child win at anything. She gonna have to fight for everything she gets. She might as well start learning that on this board." They'd decry the unfairness of that and proclaim how I was just a little girl. All the time, I'd be setting up to pieces again for a rematch, determined that this time I was gonna beat him. I never did. But mostly when I think of my privilege and my gifts, I think about Nana. My maternal grandmother, Willa Lee Jackson, the woman whose name I carry, was the second youngest of 14 children, escaping slavery purely by birth order. Nana was as fair as Papa was dark, her complexion and silken hair a gift from her Mama Hattie's Cherokee roots. She was educated and refined. She taught history at Paul Quinn College, a black college in Texas that she and Papa helped start. She was mother of the church, the honorific accorded to the pastor's wife, a pillar of the black community known to everyone in Black Dallas. But I knew her, for me, just as Nana, who baked me vanilla muffins whenever I got an A, who sliced boiled egg and arranged them into a smiley face to try and get me to like spinach, who fed me chicken and rice soup and Ritz crackers whenever I was sick. She taught me everything I know about justice. These people, and the aunties and the uncles and the play cousins and the neighbors and teachers that peopled my world, taught me every day, not by word, but by example, that the time is always right to do what's right. They showed me how to live a life of quiet courage and honor and dignity. I think about the privilege of sitting among them in Nana and Papa's living room in 1963 as we watched the CBS coverage of the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom and Dr. King's amazing I Have a Dream speech. And I remember sitting in that room with them again, in that same space, on this night 50 years ago, as the world shook and our hearts broke. The time to do what's right is not just about the heroic moments when we take to the streets or stand our ground. It is not only the times when we stand up to bullies or when we shout, "Never again," or "Time's up," or "Black Lives Matter." Those moments matter, yes, but mostly it's in the everyday struggles. When we stop to talk to the homeless woman that we pass every day. When we put down our tech and listen to each other with open hearts. It's when we recognize the humanity in each other, regardless of where we came from, what we have to offer, or who we voted for. As I think about King's quote, I also remember Nana's favorite prayer, something she taught me a long time ago that I have always tried to live up to. It speaks to her life and to the life of Dr. King, but also to so many of our ancestors who sacrificed so much and built a way for all of us to be here tonight. Lord, help me live from day to day in such a self-forgetful way that even when I kneel to pray, my prayer shall be for others. Help me in all I do to ever be sincere and true, and know that all I do for you must needs be done for others. Others, Lord, yes, Lord, others. Let this be my motto be. Help me live for others so that I may live for thee. Thank you.